My name is William Black, and I make music under the name William Black, and I'm happy to be here.
Easiest stage name ever. What about you, Davin?
I think you might be having some technical difficulties.
Are you on mute?
Hello. Is that working?
Yeah, you're all good.
Oh, nice. Hello, everyone. My name is Davin, and I go by the stage name Davin. Yeah. Pretty easy to remember.
Sounds good. And then, Nick, want to say hi?
Yes, what's going on? My name's Nick. Go by ILLENIUM. Good to be here. Chilling.
Well, sweet. Yeah, I mean, just super casual, really fun, easy. Just want to talk about some new music stuff. And I mean, a lot of you have been really busy with releases, so just anything you want to talk about or, chat about. I know we had Hearts on Fire with Davin and ILLENIUM and Lights come out in December, and I know there's some new fun things coming up. So I'll let you guys take the reins and help kind of steer you if you need it.
Cool, yeah. I mean, Hearts on Fire, yeah. Davin and I started that. I don't know. I feel like I had that vocal. The vocal started, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And then Davin and I kind of got in the studio and started going in on it. And it came together pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah, it was super dope. It was really seamless.
It was right when quarantine started. So I was going pretty hard on music. I was feeling pretty inspired and ready to chill out at home for a little bit after a exhausting tour schedule.
Yeah, definitely. And I know the fans were wanting a song from Nick and I for quite some time.
Yeah.
It kind of just timed up perfectly,
Yeah, Davin, what you been working on music-wise other than that?
Yeah, I'm just working on my new album as well. I'd say it's about 70 to 80% done. Yeah, really excited to share it with you guys, and hopefully it'll be released later this year.
Sweet.
Big, yeah. And William, you just put out Deep End, right?
Yeah, that came out a couple weeks ago. So that was a long time coming as well. I feel like we all kind of did the same thing where we hit quarantine and then we all just started working on a ton of music. So I too am working on finishing up my second album, which is getting really close, and I have a bunch of more singles to put out before then. And yeah, it's been nice trying to find the positive out of everything. So I was I'm stuck at home. I'm going to write as much music as possible. And it's also opened up an opportunity to, work with a bunch of other artists, because everybody's home. We're all kind of stuck at home together. So I'm working with a lot of people, and it's just been kind of exciting to feel that musical inspiration again, because it can be hard, like Nick was saying, with playing a lot of shows and traveling, to really dive into the studio and get creative and get excited about things.
Yeah, that's really sick. I mean, I think collaborating has kind of been the saving grace. So I guess that being said, are there any fun ones that you can, hint at or let us in on? I know there's a ton of prep that goes into it, but anything you guys can share about what you might have coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we had Davin's collab, and then I have a song with everybody in here, actually, Will and Trevor. We've all pretty been collabing a lot and just sending each other tunes. I feel like the four of us kind of always lean on each other, whether it's our own music or stuff we're really doing together. I feel like it's a really awesome community of friendship, and it's always been there. It's really, really cool. Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear you. I was wait, are you saying something?
You're gonna make me cry.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Other than that, I guess I can officially announce the next single I have has Ian Dior on it, which I'm really excited about. It's a little bit of a different song for me, and I really love it. It's coming out pretty soon.
It's so good.
It's really good. It's different, but I feel like it's one of my favorites.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He's good.
That's so sick. What about you guys? Trevor, you've been quiet in the corner except for your wholesome emotional moment.
I've just been hanging, listening to everybody's fun stuff. I mean, it's pretty much what everybody said. We're all just been working on music, you know. I've been working on my own stuff, some stuff with other people, raising a new puppy, which has been really fun. She's a trip, but it's also taken some time away from being in the studio because I can't just get up and go anymore. I have to either find somebody to watch her or, you know, hope somebody else is there to watch her. But it's been fun.
So if you can't tell us about new collabs yet, I guess what's sort of the dream collab for all of you guys? Like the dream top liner, the dream person to work with on a track?
Mine would probably be Post Malone. I feel like at least that's top three for me. I would love it.
Trevor's is Owl City for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know what mine is. EDM wise, I'd love to work with Skrillex. Vocal wise, probably like Bon Iver.
Oh, that was a good one.
Good one. Yeah, I'd say for me, either Bon Iver, like Lana Del Rey would be really cool.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I feel like also maybe like Above and Beyond would be so cool. That'd be really fun.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
So outside of your own stuff, you know, what have you guys been listening to a lot of lately? Are you on like some kind of new music kick or stuck listening to something from 10 years ago that you can't get out of your head now? Or, I mean, what are you guys into right now?
I feel like we're all stuck on the new Nothing Nowhere album right now.
This is true.
Yep. I bounced between that and the Kid Laroi album.
Yeah.
So good.
True. That's a good one.
I really liked the Kid Cudi album too.
Yeah, I was tight.
Yeah,
That's
I feel like
one.
I've just been listening to that stuff. Like I know Trevor and we were arguing about which songs from the Nothing Nowhere album were the best back and forth. But yeah. But other than that, I feel like I've also just been listening to a ton of like older pop punk rock stuff from when I was a kid because I don't know. I always love listening to that stuff. Really, it's kind of nice to go back to your roots and kind of see why you love music in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Listen to like a lot of like math rocky stuff, post rock stuff recently, like Covet and like American Football. I like a lot of my new songs are like really like guitar based, so I'm like getting a lot of inspiration from listening to bands like that because there's a lot of like super complex, like atypical rhythmic structures on the guitar there. So, I mean, yeah, I'm super inspired by those bands like that right now.
I've been on the I Prevail kick too.
Oh yeah, Dabbit and our song together is pretty rocky. It's a very punky kind of, you know, early 2000s vibes, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
There's this place off Ocean Avenue.
That's actually where we wrote the song. So
where I used to sit.
Were you there? Were you there, Trevor?
I was there, just hanging.
He was in a bush. I just saw him lurking in a bush.
Just lurking at my
On
banana.
Ocean Avenue? Oh.
Well, sweet. I mean, are you guys down to maybe answer some questions? I can bring a couple people up on the stage and they can pick your brains a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet.
Totally.
Yeah, if you guys have a question, raise your hand and I'll bring a couple people up.
Damn, this app is sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. This is the first time I've actually like talked to
you
one.
can see me.
Yeah, Sam.
This is cool.
6 minutes to get a hold of. Martin, what's up?
What's good? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Obviously, huge fan of all of your music. Thank you for still releasing music. I know a lot of artists have been holding off the pandemic. General question, I guess, with I think the trend, a lot of artists are now shifting away from labels and either starting their own. Adversely, Nick, you went to a rather bigger label, moving away from Seeking Blue. I think I'd love to know what are your thoughts on A, artists starting their own labels, B, big labels and the influence on the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I think, I love Seeking Blue. Seeking Blue is like such a cool label because one, it has the most amazing team and most amazing people that really, they're like music lovers and they, how to really, for the time for me, like the YouTube promotion and stuff like that was really, really awesome. And then it was kind of just time for me to like try to like spread my wings more and get more international, listeners and stuff like that. And when it comes to that, it's kind of just hard to control. And I went to a more major label that was really great at the time, but there were some things that I wasn't in love with. So now I'm with 12 Tone, which is like a really awesome blend of both. They have the love for music. They really care about my music and my fans, and they care about letting me do what I want to do while also having a backing where they're able to kind of push it to different places. So that's kind of my story with labels. I think labels can be, in my mind, you never want to start your career off signing any sort of multiple EP, multiple album deal. Like, never do that, in my opinion. It can always kind of turn out wrong, and then you're locked in and you can't really move or go anywhere. And really just go to where people love your music. If you're supported by a business that really loves your music, it's going to translate into other people kind of catching on to that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on what you want to do, because I think different genres of music kind of call for different things label-wise. But for me personally, I feel like I've always just wanted to be with a label that kind of lets me have pretty much creative freedom, to just be an artist and, be honest with me, but also not be too involved in the actual creation of the music. Cause I feel like that kind of gets, I don't know. I feel like I would get annoyed if somebody had their hands too much in the music part of it, like the creating part of it.
Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Martin. Adam, what's up?
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for giving us this time to share. I was just wondering what you guys recommend for up-and-coming artists who are just looking for the next step. I've been pushing for quite a few years now, and I find it's really, really a great time to make music, but it's also extremely difficult to stand out. And I have multiple different projects that I'm running with right now, a few side projects, a main one. And yeah, I'm just wondering what you guys recommend for a next step, really.
I feel like number one,
kind of a hard question.
Yeah,
it's so much
very tough.
It's like I know what you mean. It's just a lot of it is kind of luck, and a lot of it is kind of just being surrounded by people that are really motivated and really ambitious, and having not only yourself be ambitious, but have help, ask for help, or try to make relationships outside of your close friendships and stuff like that. And there's a lot that kind of dives into it, whether it's like a brand, or I think it all starts with music, in my opinion. I mean, you can just make brands work, and the music that can be like subpar, but in my mind, that doesn't really hold the weight that like a true, artist has, where it's like you really are making something for a reason, and like you're trying to spread a message of some sort. So kind of just finding your own sound, and leaning on people that really work hard for you. But it's hard to get all that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I've definitely come up against some roadblocks lately. I find it's almost a catch-22. It's like, do you want to try for a label route, but then do you compromise part of your artistry, or do you go the label route and kind of change things so that does that set you on the right track? And I guess that's where I struggle.
I would always personally vouch for the let your music speak and wait for. I mean, whether it's a label or a booking agent or a manager or whoever it is, you can go the route of seeking those people out, and knocking on all the doors and being like, "Hey, please sign me," or "Please like manage me or whatever. But when somebody comes to you and is like, hey, I really want to book your shows for you, I care about you. Like my booking agent, Max, I love him for that. Like he sought us out and was like, hey, I want to book you. And before we were even with him, he was like looking for shows for us, and I could just tell he cared. And I think that built, like from the get-go, you're just going to have a much better experience and better relationship with those people moving forward. And yeah, it might take a little longer and you might not get what you want right off the, it could take some years, but in the long run, I think you're going to be way, way more happy that you waited and found somebody who appreciated your art for what it is, and didn't try and change that just to make some money,
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Adam. Michaela, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Obviously, I'm a huge fan. I've got a music-related question or a not music-related question, and I'd like you to pick which one you'd prefer.
Music.
Okay. My question for that is, some artists have like an alternative name where they're working on different projects. Have you ever considered deviating from your sound and working under a different name for a bit? Or are you happy with the direction that you're going and you feel like you can evolve within your own sound?
I mean, me personally, I've always thought about it, but I feel like right now at this point in my career, I should be giving like 100% into my music right now, which doesn't mean I can't bring the sounds and influences that, that inspire me into what I'm making right now. I just feel like I'm more of a put like all your eggs in one basket kind of dude right now. So I feel like that's been important for me.
Yeah, I kind of feel that as well. But I also think that it's kind of exciting to know that in the future, if, any of us wanted to start a whole new project, we could. And there's definitely a playlist or a folder of songs that I've written that might not necessarily work for my project, but maybe in the future, they could work for something else.
And it doesn't mean you have to, make a completely different project to make a different style of music. Like during quarantine, like Trevor and I worked on like a super fucking heavy tune together. That's really like out of pocket, but we super dig it.
It's so dope.
Yeah.
I
feel like Go ahead, Michaela.
I was just going to say, I have a side question. Like, would you ever consider taking something from that folder, and if you thought it fit with someone else's sound, like, would you consider working with them and showing another artist?
Yeah, I think that's like that's a great kind of way to get to get into a different realm, is just either work with someone in that realm, where I've kind of utilized like just making a lot of live edits. Like if I really want to do something different, then I'll just make an edit of a song I already have that's in, that's way, way different, and it's way more fun to play out. And it's kind of like a special surprise that sometimes gets released, sometimes it doesn't, but it's kind of my way to like mess around.
I was thinking, even Nick, our song, like, it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's totally not what people will expect a collab with us to be. Which I'm sure some people will be bummed out, but it's just kind of what we wanted to make at the time,
Yeah, it works.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you answering. I really respect you guys a lot, so thank you. And also, love the VIP edits, of course. So keep doing
Michaela.
that. All right, bye.
Kind of going off Michaela, do you guys feel like there's a lot of, pressure to stay with a certain sound or vibe, or have people been pretty welcoming of you guys trying new things?
There's definitely pressure, but
I'll go on Reddit.
Yeah, I don't know. My last song, I felt like I was really nervous.
Okay, Reddit.
I was nervous because it's very much like more chill and just kind of vibey, and I was like pretty nervous just because there's always going to be people that hate it. But I was.
And what did he do? He went on Reddit.
No, yeah. So banned me from Reddit. No, but actually the response was great, and the biggest thing for me was like, I love this song, and above all else, that's what matters, you know? Like, fans are going to feel a certain way and people that listen to it no matter what, but, like, you have to do what's true to you as an artist or, like, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah, totally. Kendra, what's up? What's your question?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the stage. I just want to say I'm big fans of all of you. Love your music. I'm too a producer and DJ, and I'm currently in audio engineering school. And I've released on labels in the past. And I guess my question for you guys is, like, right now with the pandemic and everything, I've straight up had releases just get canceled initially when everything went down. And so right now it almost feels like the labels that I'm aiming for aren't really an option. And I wanted to know what you guys think is the best advice for the publishing end of things and the demos and, you know, just pitching everything out, or just with the self-releases. With the self-releases, just how to go about doing the business end of it, you know, sending emails out to different magazines, you know, and blogs, stuff like that. I guess that's my main question, because you can never really get the support that you get from a label, you know, just the responsiveness. And so I kind of just wanted to hear what you guys had to say about that.
I think it's really, that's weird that things were canceled. Kendra, do you sing too, or are you just producing, or are you?
No, I'm not a singer. I'm just a producer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's weird that labels canceled music just because of the pandemic. I haven't really heard much of that. Like, I kind of slowed down releasing a little bit, just because, you know, Ascend had came out, and I was like just at a point where I needed to make more music. So I wasn't really releasing super heavily this year. But for that to be like a label decision just seems weird. So I don't really know what to say about that. But in terms of, and I feel like the question is more like, do you want to try to do it all yourself, or do you want more of a label help? And I think it kind of just depends. Like, I like at the beginning of like a career or a project, I feel like the best way is just find who has the best audience for what you're doing, and whether that's put the song out yourself and just try to get YouTube promotion or blog promotion, or I wouldn't really focus on magazine stuff yet, just because it's so hard to do everything. Like, I just feel like you're not going to be able to do it all, or but you really just have to like spam stuff. Like, when I was first putting out remixes on SoundCloud, I was like spamming blogs and like just spamming my Facebook for people to like it and stuff like that.
For sure.
I feel like it's just kind of, you got to grind as much as you can, and then when you kind of start getting traction, then a label can really help, in my opinion.
I gotcha. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to add on top of that, I think like once you kind of build your like little community of fans, I think it's really important to like interact with them and show them that like you actually care. Like when I was starting out, my managers, Black Tiger Sex Machine, they also, you know, produce and DJ worldwide, and they like put in a huge effort to tell me like how important it is to just like interact with your fans and just like show them that you like care about them. And like, you know, like last year, even with COVID, even with like no shows and like, you know, the streams weren't like as good as they were, like the fans just like pulled up and like really supported with like all the merch drops. So that's just like another facet that I think is important.
For sure. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kendra. Arazo? I'm going to butcher that. I'm so sorry.
You said it right the first time.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me up here. It's good to talk to you guys again. This is a little different question. It's more of a, what do you guys look for in photographers? How do you guys select your photographers for your tours and stuff? I know it might be a little ways away, but is it like friends? I know like Nye shot with you guys a lot. Or do you guys want someone that does both photography and videography? Or like, how do you guys go about selecting you guys as photographers?
I mean, I guess ideally, me personally, I would obviously prefer to have someone who could do both photo and video on like a tour. And it just kind of like, it's smarter that way financially. You can, do kind of 2-for-1 thing, and you don't have to, spend more money on someone else on like a tour bus, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's preferable to have someone who's well-versed in both things.
Yeah, I'd say if you find somebody who's either already shooting other artists or already just does like videography and photography and you just like their work, that's probably the quickest way to find them would be through the scene already, see who's shooting who and find somebody you like.
What about like trying to break into the scene? Like, do you guys check you guys DMs a lot? I know you guys probably get flooded with it, but like, kind of if someone tries to give you a demo or a reel of like what their work is about, I'm just curious.
I think it's better if you, like, for me, I think Sean, my manager, would see a DM from a photographer before I would.
For sure.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of that decision, like, I am really serious about that decision, and like I look at it, but it's generally always Sean showing me like, do you like this person's work? Do you like it's also, you spend so much time, you have to be like friendly with them, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And we found Nye through him working with other people, and then I forget if Sean reached out or if he reached out, but it was kind of just like a really great friendship that happened, and he just kills it. So I feel like going straight to the artist can be really challenging because I'm not really choosing. Like, we already have one, so it's kind of hard to like make way,
Right. You also got to think, I feel like most of the time the artist is going to be like when I'm going to play a show, I'm focused on the music, and playing the show. I'm not thinking like, I'm thinking here and there about the photographer, and it's nice to, like Nick was saying, it's nice to have like always have a hand in it, and at the end of the day, choose who's doing it. But for what I'm thinking about more often than anything else is music. So if like a DM comes in or a message comes in about a photographer, I might not have the time to go through all of the photography emails, but a manager is, that's their job. That's what they're there for. They'll be able to help you out with that.
Awesome. Thank you. And that was actually through Shiggy. I know you remember Shiggy, Nick. Shiggy shot your show first here in Hawaii.
Oh, hell yeah. That's so funny. Well, hell yeah. Thanks for asking, dude. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Thank you guys for answering all of my questions.
Later.
Hey, Nick, big fan over here. I don't know if you know who I am. I just wanted to know, like, what are your thoughts on Serum as a... Shut up, Tesla! Sorry.
Fucking Dylan.
What are your thoughts on Serum as a VST? Or do you use audio units?
I just use samples.
All right, well, that answers my question. I love you.
Shit.
See you later, Dylan.
What the fuck?
That was Dylan Francis, everyone. Memeing.
Incredible. Alan, what's up?
Hi, guys. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Alan. I go by the producer name of Kaizens. First of all, I appreciate you guys. You guys are like my biggest inspiration. I'm almost into my first year producing, and I just want to ask, because I've been experiencing this a lot lately. It's a little bit of like, I guess, what you call producer block, or nothing really has been inspiring me as I've been opening up an Ableton project. So I just want to ask all of you guys, what do you guys usually do when you're not too inspired to make something, or you have a hard time making something?
I do anything else besides make music, pretty much.
Yeah. Go outside, play video games, watch movies.
Yeah, it's definitely important to do other things, and also like do not think about music. Like, make sure when you're playing video games, you're not just playing video games and like thinking about making it. You sometimes you gotta like act fully refresh and turn your brain off for a bit.
Sorry, I almost died in my car. I think a good thing to do is definitely play Call of Duty, because that helps a lot. But my favorite thing to do is, if I'm not feeling inspired, go and make samples. Go and just sit and make weird noises for you to be able to sample the next day for inspiration. And if you're not feeling inspired again, then try to make a drum rack or, you know, drum samples or drum loops. Like getting yourself out of having to think like I need to make music is a good way to sit there and then almost inspire yourself then to make music from just making samples. I don't know. That's what I do sometimes.
That's a good idea. I never do that.
Same, that's a good idea.
Damn, just drop knowledge.
I actually never thought of
Galaxy
that too. I might have to try that. Well, thank you guys so much. Once again, I appreciate all you guys. You guys really do inspire me, and I hope you guys have fun.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
From one Alan to the next.
Hey everybody. I have a question first for Nick. I really loved your collab with John Bellion, and I was wondering if you're going to repeat that. And the second one, we had a really nice chat last night with Dylan and Diplo and a lot of other awesome people. Are you thinking about this? This question is for everybody else. Are you thinking of releasing your own NFTs?
About the John song, thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Yeah, Good Things is still one of my favorite songs I think I've done. I just really love it. I feel like it's such a cool blend of sounds. And John and I do not have anything in the works right now, but we do chat and send some stuff back and forth. So you never know. And we're definitely thinking about jumping in on the NFT stuff too. We're just kind of learning and figuring out what the whole deal is. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Also, Eric, are you on the stage? I don't know if I can see you, but I'm being told you're there. So if you're able to speak, you're more than welcome to.
For sure. Yeah, I'm here. I was just waiting to be called.
Patiently over here.
Someone texted me like, "Are you gonna let Eric talk or no?" And I'm like, "Oh my god."
That's funny. I didn't realize that people could fall down a hole in this app. That's great. Anyway, just want to say thank you to the four of you music guys for hopping up here and taking the time to chat. It's really cool to see your names up here. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier today, and we were just kind of going back and forth about our journey in developing as artists. And I was just curious if any of you feel like diving into the topic, describing how you feel like your sound has evolved over the years.
I feel like I care more now about like writing music about things that I've been through. So maybe over the years I've just been able to really like dive into memories and just like experiences to try to bring those into music. And less, I think recently I care less about like how crazy something sounds and more about like the meaning behind it and like lyrically. And I just want to write music that I can really relate to. So I feel like over the years I've just been able to kind of harness that sort of more personally.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in a very similar boat too. Like I used to be way more focused on the sound design aspect of everything, and I feel like lately it's more about the song that's happening, you know.
Same, I would agree. There's just so many kids out there with just the gnarliest sound design, and I'm just like, I cannot compete with this shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just focus on making like good songs, you know, that mean something to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like finding your sound, I feel like kind of happens naturally for me, at least. Like I was originally I got into making electronic music because I was inspired by electronic music, you know, like whether it was Seven Lions, Adventure Club, Porter, Glitch Mob, all that stuff kind of like goes into what I'm inspired by when I first started making music, and I try to emulate that, and then that transitions into like kind of what I do now about all the other stuff I'm inspired by, like pop punk or like some hip hop R&B stuff. It all kind of like gets into this like box that then becomes really your sound, because nobody's really put all of that stuff together in a simple and easily kind of audible way, if that makes sense. So it's kind of just messing with the stuff that you love.
Yeah, I feel like your sound is gonna happen like super naturally as long as you keep with it. You keep making music, because really at the end of the day, it's just like the decisions that you make while you're producing. You know, it's like what you choose to put in the song. That's what makes it your sound. You know.
Awesome. I appreciate those answers. And I've got a part two, if that's all right with everybody.
You were up here so long, you're absolutely welcome to.
You're so patient.
Wow, patience pays off, guys. Everyone just take note of that. Yeah, so I guess it would be, do you guys have specific visions on where you want to take your sound, or does it just come down to how you're feeling in the studio, on the day?
I think it depends. I feel like it's funny that we all do this, but I feel like an album is a great way to like get a whole story across, because you have so many songs to really tell it. And I think about, at least for this album I've been writing, is I thought about the bigger story I wanted to tell, and how then I figure out kind of what I need to write about in each song to be able to tell that whole story.
Yeah, I feel like for me, but it's less of, or just in general, it's been less of me looking super far ahead and being like, I know where I want to get with my sound. It's been like me in the studio one day playing with something and thinking, oh, what if I try this? This could be cool. And then landing on something and being like, oh shit, this is awesome, and I want to keep exploring this. And then through that is kind of how your sound just like develops from trying things, and then you find it more often than like plan it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Will had a good point on like an album. Like when you're sitting to make a song, you're not really like thinking about the grand, like how big can I make this? I feel like with an album, you kind of think of the bigger story, and you think, for me, I even like going beyond that, like with Ashes, Awake, and Ascend, I wanted to like make a trilogy and have it kind of all revolve around, the life cycle of a phoenix, and how that kind of resonates with me and my past and my history and stuff like that. It just really like, and even like the characters, and like I love mythology and stuff like that. Like that's kind of my bigger idea, but it's not like when I get down to write a song, I don't always think about that. I just kind of think about like what's the best song that I can write right now. It's not a huge vision.
Amazing. I appreciate the insights, you guys. Stay up, and cheers to the future.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, dude.
Sweet. Brianna, what's up?
Hi. Oh my God, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I had a question, but it was kind of already answered, which was like when you're starting to produce, what helps you like establish your sound? So I'm gonna go with another question. What has been helping you guys get through the pandemic? Because I know for me personally, it's a lot of your guys' music, because somehow all of the music you guys write fits into my life and I relate to it a lot. And I know when I listen to it, everything will be okay. What is something that helps you guys?
My puppy.
So true.
My dog.
Honestly, yeah. Kind of just like, yeah, my friendships and my relationships, and music for sure, making music and kind of picking up stuff that I wouldn't be able to do normally, whether that's like being in the mountains or, like golfing, random stuff that's just like with friends and relationship building. And yeah, just kind of giving myself to like producing music again. I've been so tour heavy that like having months where I just get to work on music is something that I really missed, where it's just like I get to binge as hard as I want. It's really, really cool and special.
Yeah, another side of that is having so much time kind of has allowed me to do like other things that I wouldn't normally be able to do, like with a heavy tour schedule. So it makes me like even more motivated to go back into the studio and like continue writing.
Yeah, I feel like music for me, like you're saying, Brianna, has definitely like helped me through this whole thing, and FaceTime for sure, because I get to see all my friends and kind of it's a little bit more personal than a call. And then, you know, my dog, and also I spent too many hours just looking at TikTok, so I'll wake up and I'll have just like 17 mixed text messages from Trevor sending me TikToks. And
they're so good though, right?
At 6 in the morning.
I've spent an embarrassing amount of time just looking at TikTok, but that's helped me get through this. So.
Yeah, I have a problem for sure.
Me too. We need help.
I do have one more question. It's kind of like a just a play on question. How often do you guys wear your own merch?
Nick doesn't own any other clothes besides his own.
I'm literally wearing my hoodie right now.
I have a Set the Sky shirt on right now.
Oh, nice.
It's free.
I feel like we all just wear each other's merch.
Yeah.
I'll wear Trevor's shit when I go out.
Yeah, I wear pretty much all of you guys' stuff all the time.
It's comfy.
Someone posted a photo and I was like, how often do they wear their own merch? Because I wear it. That's all I wear is ILLENIUM, Davin, William Black, Set the Sky. I think I own most of the merch possible. I spent almost $300 on that Black Friday drop.
Oh my God.
People are like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I love him. I think that's all I have. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous still. You guys are literally my inspirations. Like, I love you guys, and I just want you to know how thankful I am that you guys exist, because I know ILLENIUM tweeted not too long ago that he feels like he hasn't been there for us, but his music has been there for me more than anything has in this world during this time. So I just want to thank you guys, and I just want you guys to just know that you're appreciated no matter what, and just keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing amazing.
Thank you, Brianna. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Brianna. Rob, what's up? Oh, you dropped off. Go ahead, proximity.
Hey, boys.
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Hanging in there. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to see, just curious, if you guys ever had passions in the sync world or the scoring side of things, like to score movies or TV shows, if that was ever of any interest, because I feel like you guys, all four of you, would crush that.
Totally. That's what I actually used to do, like, for a living before I decided to do this full time. I used to work at a studio called Apollo Studios, and we used to make music for, you know, music commercials, video games, like score movies, et cetera, I actually did that with one of my good friends, Apache, who's been fucking killing it lately. And he also used to work there as well, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that. I have a bunch of friends who still, you know, that's what they do, is they write music for TV and commercials. And I mean, scoring a movie sounds like such an incredible feat, but that would be so cool. I feel like I think about that stuff and like, what am I going to do when I'm 40 or 50 and I'm still making music, but I'm not necessarily wanting to go tour everywhere. Still, I might, you know, have a family, and I'm like, well, I can just write, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do that personally. That'd be so much fun.
I love it. Well, I guess that answers my question.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to like do it. I feel like the opportunity just has to present itself, really.
Would there be any sort of, would there be any like figures like Junkie XL or Hans Zimmer that you guys would want to collaborate with from an organic side?
Hans Zimmer, 100%.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I feel like Hans Zimmer with Christopher Nolan and having your guys' touch would be a pretty cool collab.
Yeah, let's just set that up real quick. That'd be
Yeah, whoever wants to make that happen, go ahead. We are available.
Dude, a Joe Hisashi collab would be fucking sick. He does a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies. That'd be crazy.
That's
Look it
sick.
up.
Sweet. Thanks, Blake.
Thanks, guys. See ya. I'll hang in there. So.
See ya.
Yes,
Megan.
Hans Zimmer in here. Can we get him on the stage?
Yeah, we'll bring him.
Perfect.
Megan, what's up?
Hey guys, and hey Steph. I'm not Hans Zimmer, unfortunately. That'd be really cool. But I do have a fun question, I think, for you guys. What are some non-music inspirations that you guys pull from? I know you guys have talked about other artists on here, but are there any like movies or video games that get you guys like in the mood to make music?
I'm super inspired by a lot of like video game soundtracks, like all the Final Fantasy ones, all the Kingdom Hearts ones. Those have been super inspiring to my music creation.
I binged all seven series. Wait, what? 7 seasons of Vampire Diaries early quarantine. There's 8 seasons. I think it equates to like literally 6 full days, right? Something like that, maybe more. That got me pretty emotionally fucked up. So that was helpful.
Yeah, I feel like I'm inspired less by movies and TV show, and more just by like life experience. Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I'm always just pulling from things that have happened personally, and like there are definitely movies and stuff that kind of, you know, fuel that, but more like music. Like everybody has like, you know, a memory that a song brings up, and so I try to pull from those memories.
Cool, thanks guys. I didn't think the Vampire Diaries would be a source of inspiration, but that's an interesting one.
I needed a new like, you know, a new world to dive into.
Dude, you should check out Twilight.
I read all the books, bro. Don't judge me.
Really?
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Damn.
One time I was at Nick's house.
Oh, y'all just fucking judging over there.
Nick and Laura forced me to watch that movie, all 4 movies. They wouldn't let me leave until we finished them. That was pretty tough.
Nick's a vampire simp.
It's true.
You would be one if you could. Don't lie.
True.
Sick. Thank you so much, Megan. Cole, how's it going?
It is pretty good. Sorry, is my audio working properly?
Working great.
Okay. So hey, this is really nice being able to ask some questions. I actually first heard most of y'all's music when you came to the Norva a couple years back for the I think it was Awake, and Killed the Power in Norfolk, Virginia. And it was there. Yeah, no,
classic.
Honestly, y'all handled loss of power in the middle of a show better than most have, so kudos on that one. But I have 2 questions, if that's all right. The first one being, I know that you all have a fairly close and quality working relationship with Annika Wells. And I actually have a friend of mine that helps me with a lot of my writing and whatnot, but how do you go about finding people like that are going to be songwriters and other artists that can help create your own art? And that
you should. I literally just started on TikTok. All of a sudden, all these super, super talented songwriters started popping up on my page, which is, I mean, any app though, really. Go on Spotify, look for new vocalists, go surf through SoundCloud, just like take time to go find new music and find new artists who are just starting out that you really enjoy, But I feel like for me lately, something about just kids on TikTok, everybody wants to use TikTok. So there's all these songwriters that are sitting in their room and, they write a song and now they can just post it straight to TikTok. So there's all these kids popping up all over the place right now.
I found not even that long ago, this girl popped up on TikTok, and I looked, and she had like no followers, and her songs like literally blew me away. I was like, I was like taken back. It was crazy because they can just post a video and put a demo out there, and like, you know, and then one of her TikToks blew up, got like 1 million views, and now she's, you know, it's crazy. So you got to get in before she gets 1 million views, and then she's too cool to talk to you. But it's, I think, yeah, TikTok is definitely a great way to find, and just, yeah, like deep dive. I know Nick is really good at that too. Like he's found, and it's funny because he'll work with a singer, songwriter, and he'll kind of be like the first one to do it, and then you'll see a lot of other people in our space kind of start to work with him, and so it's really
and then we all hit them up immediately.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, nice to meet you.
Hey, Annika.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annika's the shit. She, the first time I heard her voice was on the Crawl Out of Love demo, which was sent to me just through a guy that I had worked with on Awake, who we had built a relationship, and he was kind of tight with a lot of like the songwriter crowd, and he randomly got it, and I was obsessed with it, and I got looped in with her, and then that just kind of like started a relationship that has been, you know, we still write together. We kind of work together just really easily. And I feel like earlier on, it kind of just started like me and Trevor would like do a collab and then send a collab to literally every single vocalist that we knew there, or that we could like remember.
We could possibly get an email for it.
And maybe we get like one back that's like, yeah, sure, $10,000. And then we're like, oh, fuck. And then, but like, it's just a grind. I feel like you just really got to put yourself out there, and it helps when you have like some demos and stuff like that. At the earlier stages, for sure.
Solid. That was a really comprehensive answer. I really appreciate it, y'all. I wasn't expecting so much detail. Thank you. The second one being also related to like creatives that y'all work with. Don't be offended, but after seeing Awake 2.0 or Awake, the first person I followed before any of y'all was actually Cam. I think, the lighting guy or sound guy. And then
sound guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then the rest of
He's all right.
tech crew.
Yeah.
Savage.
I'm kidding. He's the man. We're like super good friends.
But so what's your method for going about and finding people like that? Because that's something I've been like intrigued with is, let's say I don't find fruit in my labor for my production, but I do find it in my technical prowess around building Ableton sets or doing like touch designer stuff or things like that. How do I connect with artists like yourselves, or how would I, let's say I do find success in my music, connect with artists that might fill that role?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge, like finding people that are really knowledgeable about that is really awesome. I feel like for me, I kind of, it's come along in stages as my productions and my shows have gotten bigger and bigger. You know, it started out with no one, with like just me and Sean, and we would just plug everything right into like a mixer, and I would try to mix it on the fly, and it probably sounded kind of crappy, but you kind of just wing it. And then that moves to the first time we do any live show, which was Awake, which was totally stressful and like terrifying, but you kind of just got to risk it. And that's the first time we did touch designer stuff and MIDI sync, and we've moved to timecode now, but finding, we kind of just go, you meet one person who knows other people, and it's just like, it kind of like created a family since really Awake one, you know, the first Awake show. Cam has been my main sound guy that whole time. But yeah, it's just kind of finding the right production companies and going with it.
Yeah, I would say it's a lot about who you know and, you know, kind of feeding off their connections. Like my upcoming tour that was supposed to happen, you know, like the mixing engineer for that was actually the in-ear monitor tech for Nick for his tour. And then, you know, the people who were doing my visuals were actually the people who worked on Black Tiger Sex Machines, one of their first tours. So it's kind of just about like the connections and meeting people and, you know, hearing that, oh, this artist needs someone, like, do you know anyone who could do that, et cetera, et cetera.
Solid. Well, thank you very much, both of y'all. Devin, if you do end up running that tour again post-pandemic, please feel free to come through Norfolk again. I was really looking forward to that. Jack actually taught me some personal lessons, and I think he was opening for you there. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Bump into y'all. Yeah. But any of y'all, if you do come through Norfolk again, beer on me. Otherwise, I look forward to the good show, and I appreciate the solid answers.
Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, dude.
Really great questions, Cole. Thanks so much. Joy, what you got?
Hello. Thank you for bringing me up to the stage, Steph. This is amazing. First, like Nick and Tevin, your guys' show was the first one I ever went to when you guys were in Portland. So you guys kind of started off my love for your kind of music. Kind of have a fun question. It's a little bit random. I don't know how long this room has been going, so it might have already been asked. So I'll just give two questions. The first one being, what is your guys' most memorable show or tour? And then the second question is, I'm sure you guys have a huge fan base, but do you have a handful of fans that you see at like every concert, or you know by face and name? So those are my two questions. I'm done speaking.
I feel like Nick has the coolest shows.
We're all in it, though.
Was Nick?
Yeah. My favorite show was a Nick show I played one time.
Yeah, I feel like my favorite tour is definitely Ascend, because, I mean, it's the last like big tour I feel like any of us did.
Yeah.
And that was like just like all of us and like.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite Ascend show?
MSG was insane.
MSG was not, dude. Staples Center got me pretty teary-eyed too.
Staples.
Yeah, Staples and Red Rocks and that one in Minneapolis, I forgot.
Yeah, the Armory. That was one of
sick.
It's so hard to pick one.
San Diego was also
San Diego was
insane.
So was
Like,
Portland. I remember it was a Sunday, and it was like after a long series of shows, and it was like so fun. So
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I definitely see like, especially on social media, but at shows, like I forgot this guy's name. I feel really bad, but I have like 8 photos with him, and he takes one every time, and he's like, "Look at all these pictures we have together." I was like, "Yeah, I spotted you before you even spotted me."
Dude, there's this couple that comes to all my shows, and they always take a picture with me, and then they take a picture with me holding the picture that they took before.
Oh my
It's
God.
amazing. It's hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah, I think there's like a definite, like, I know a lot of fans in different regions. They kind of like, if I'm doing like a Midwest 2 weeks, they'll be at like all of those and generally get to say what's up to them. Maybe not every show, but a good amount.
Wow, thank you guys for your answers. This is great.
Of course. Thanks so much, Joy. Are you guys good? Do you guys want to hit a few more people back, or what's up?
Yeah, we could do. I'm down to do more.
Yeah, I'm down for a couple more.
Cool. Last chance to raise your hands, then we'll pull a few more up. Jenna, what's up?
Hi, so sending so much love to you guys from Australia. Huge fans. So just going off the touring questions. So I know 3 of you guys have been to Australia before, but and touring is probably out of the question for some time. But what's a city you guys would love to tour which you haven't been to?
I'd love to go to Asia and do some shows.
Yeah, I was going to say I want to go to Japan really, really bad. I wanted to go to Australia really bad, and then I got to go do that, so I got to check that off the list.
I still want to go to Australia really bad.
I think Australia was the last show I played since quarantine.
Yeah, it was my second to last was the Sydney show, which was so sick.
It was so much
fun.
I love that show. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, yeah. Miss it. I would probably say, oh, man, I don't know. I haven't been to South America yet.
Nick's pretty much played everywhere.
A lot of places.
Sweet. Thank you so much. Cameron, what's up?
Hey, thank you for having me, Steph. Thank you all for being here. What an amazing room. Shout out to Nick. I was the actor in your music video for Sound of Walking Away. I don't know if it ever got released, but that was the first time I got introduced to your music, and I just got so hooked to it. And then through that, I found Trevor's music. And Trevor, my girlfriend, works at Flight House, so I know Ash and a couple of your shows, and they're just so amazing. Because took my music to a whole new place that I'm absolutely in love with, because I'm a keyboardist as well.
Oh, hell yeah, nice.
But I have a couple music producer questions. One is, what do you do when you're kind of sick of your mixes? Like, how many people do you send it to, or how often do you step away from it, or how many times do you bounce it and listen to it in different speakers? And then another one was kind of inspired by Dylan's question of what plugins or what VSTs are kind of inspiring to you right now, new ones that you're using or excited to try out. Thanks.
As far as plugins go, if you're a keyboardist, you'd like Keyscape if you haven't tried that one already. It just has so many really nice, natural, good sounding pianos. Other than that, new plugins. I don't know. There's this Studer tape plugin that UAD has that sounds really nice. It's more of like a mixing plugin, but Shaperbox is really fun. Started using that one recently. And then as far as what was the other part of that question? The getting sick of your mixes. I feel like it's really important to let your ears breathe for a little bit after you've been listening for something too long. You can kind of just fry your ears, and it's really hard to listen. And you just you feel like you can't really hear anything. So it's definitely, like you're saying, sending out to other people. I'd say, like, we all have each other, luckily, which is awesome. We always send all of our stuff to each other and see what sucks and what doesn't suck, and then try it. Just open it back up the next day and see how it's sounding, I guess. But
yeah, plugins for me. I mean, I still am like a huge fan of Omnisphere. I know it's not very new, but it is like, I feel like you can get lost in it and find new sounds like all the time. And in regards to with mixing, I mean, I've kind of got to the point, I did mastering for my own mastering for my first two albums, and I just like, it's really draining on your ears, and it's really like kind of just tiring in a different way. And so I've got to the point where I still do a master of my own that's like much less critique based, and I just get it to a place that's like, I don't know, maybe 90%. And then I started sending it off. I get to kind of send the whole project that is that I made the whole song in with the mastering, and he just tweaks my stuff, which is kind of a relief. So it's kind of like, don't put too much pressure on it. It helps to have extra help.
Yeah, I also just wanted to add, don't try not to listen to your demos if you're not working on it, because Davin can attest to this. Over the weekend, I listened to this one song too many times, just like listening to it. And so once it is mastered, I can't like unhear it the way it used to be. So like, it's called like demoitis.
You get just too attached to how your demo sounds, and then anything that sounds too drastically different from it just sounds weird to you, because you're
even if it's like actually better, you're not used to it.
Yeah, I feel that. I've been trying to put out like a 4-song EP recently, and I feel like I'm trapped in a box of listening to it on so many different speakers and tweaking it minutely, and then thinking that the last version sounded better than this one now, and trying to take it on by myself, which I need to probably outsource a little bit more. But thank you so much.
It's kind of nice, like getting a second ear on it, because it's sometimes hard for like us as the artist to say, okay, like this is actually done and this is final. So it's kind of nice getting someone else on board to be like, all right, like I wrapped it up for you, like here's the last like just a little sprinkle on top that you needed to wrap it up. So
definitely, thank you. And I got Keyscape and Omnisphere, Nick and Trevor, and those are like spaceships. So crazy to just
they're the best, dude.
Mess around.
Yeah, they're so fun.
Sick. Thanks so much, Cameron. Really, really great questions. Mike, how's it going?
Hey, it's great. So, like everyone else in this room, huge fan of the four of you.
one of the things that I think really stands out is how supportive you all are of each other. And so in that vein, I wanted to ask each of the four of you to maybe talk a little bit about your favorite song that somebody else on stage who's not you has produced.
Good question.
That's a tough one.
Just crickets.
I don't like anything.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Suck.
I feel like it all changes. I mean, there's so many songs that you guys are working on right now for your new projects.
Right, that's the thing. All my faves are ones that you guys haven't even put out yet. And I feel like that's always going to be the case.
Yeah. In terms of, I think of release stuff, I'd say Trevor's release stuff, my favorite's probably All I Got. I listen to that so much. Oh, so much. Will's is probably Back to You, and then Dabbin's probably Alive. Playing that live on the Ascend tour always got me fucking amped. So that's my problem.
Alive is really good.
Fuck yeah.
For Trevor, I like All I Got or Over Getting Over You. That shit's fire.
Ooh.
I also love
for Nick. I think Afterlife is just timeless, man. Afterlife is so good.
Damn true.
Nick's really old Odessa remix still does it for me. That's I feel like one of the first songs I found of yours, and I still love that one.
Yeah,
that makes zero sense to me, but okay.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well,
you got a weird brain, bro.
I don't know. I feel like all the Ashes stuff too, just because of that first tour, just brings back all those memories. So if I hear those songs, it just I think about that stuff. It's good times.
Dude, that one, your Kill the Noise tune always made me tear up during shows. I don't know why. Every time that one would play out.
With Leaving on it? Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that one amps me up.
Yeah.
That's a lot of songs people are going to need to go listen to.
Apparently, don't go listen to Nick's old Odessa remix.
Yeah, there was some deep there.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Mike. Nathan, how's it going? Hello?
Where are you, Nathan? Why can't we hear you?
Okay, let's bring up a few more then. Tad, we can't hear Nathan, so do you want to join us?
Absolutely. Yeah, my question is for all you guys. When do y'all think that, I guess things will be back to normal and y'all be touring again?
I think it's very up to, local governments kind of before we decide. But there was really promising stuff for America, at least. Biden announced that vaccines, I guess there should be enough vaccine allocations or delivered. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but by the end of May, which is really promising, you kind of see some states just kind of sending it right now. Like Texas just announced that they're going to 100% open. So I think it's going to be kind of locally driven and based on what local governments think is safe, and then it goes to what we think is safe, and we're going to make those decisions. But this year, for sure, I think summer's looking more optimistic each day we get closer. I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe I'm dreaming. Who knows?
Definitely, yeah. Super looking forward to having you guys back on stage and going to your shows. I'm a huge fan. It seems like the vaccine stuff is looking well. Do you guys have the tour manager, should I say, or whoever really books you? Have they been reaching out about that sort of stuff, or is it still up in the air, whether or not things will happen this year or later this year or whatnot?
For me, it's just been a lot of rescheduling to other dates since we've already had tours and festivals booked. So it's mostly just following up on that and finding appropriate dates. But I don't know. It all really depends.
Yeah, it's really
vaccine
been rolling with the punches this whole time.
I think for me, it's we have a bunch of festivals and stuff booked. It's just whether or not they're actually going to happen. So like Nick said, I'm kind of just crossing my fingers and hoping that they do. And but yeah, I think hopefully summer. I think maybe fall is more reasonable to think, but I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up either.
Right. Thanks, guys, for having me up here. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Ted. Nathan, last call.
Hello. Hey. Sorry about my audio earlier.
There it is.
My question kind of got answered a little earlier. So this is kind of more of a broad question. I guess this goes for all of you. What's your favorite festival you've played at, and what is a festival you want to play at that you have not played at?
Mine's definitely Electric Forest. Favorite one I've gotten to play at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Forest or EDC for me.
Yeah, same.
I definitely want to play EDC. That's like kind of my dream festival to get to play.
Lollapalooza is an amazing one. I'd love to play Tomorrowland.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me up on stage.
Thanks,
Best of luck in your futures.
Thank you.
I'll be following all of you.
Thanks so much, Nathan.
Yeah.
Irene, how's it going?
Hey, Steph. Thanks for bringing me up here. I'm really glad to be up on stage with all of these massive music powerhouses. Wow. So I've seen most of you live, Davin, when you toured with BTSM, and then ILLENIUM. Too many times. You're definitely on my daily playlist for sure. And I'm gonna plug Hearts on Fire for everyone. It's a really good song, and everyone should check it out. This is by Davin and ILLENIUM. And then I'm also gonna plug Deep Blue by William Black. I've been listening to that song for a long time. And then Set the Sky. Your songs always are amazing too. Rush Over Me. Definitely listen to that all the time. So there goes my plugs. Everyone, please check them out. I actually had a serious question. And then I also have a fun one. So I'll just ask my serious question really fast. Earlier today, I was in a chat room with Fostradamus, and it was about SoundCloud moving towards like a new royalty system. So I believe like instead of getting paid by a percentage of streams for artists, it's using a fan-powered model instead, where it depends on how many artists, like how many unique listeners that artists can get. And that's how royalties are being paid out. And I wanted to open this up and ask if like any of the artists here had any thoughts about this change in payment structure. I know SoundCloud is definitely like a jumping off base for a lot of new and upcoming artists.
I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in, but I haven't really been using SoundCloud at all recently, so I feel like I'm not the best person to be asking.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard. I feel like when, especially Nick and Trevor, I mean, I feel like we all kind of started coming up during like the SoundCloud era, and it was more about like, you know, you could do a bootleg remix and put it up on SoundCloud, and it could get like millions of plays, and now it's definitely more monitored, and it's harder to do like a remix and put it up and kind of gain a fan base that way. So I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah, it's so different now. I feel like it was so cool. I don't know how many years ago it was, 5, when it was just, you know, you really felt free to just do what you wanted. You just push one platform, and now things are so tied up with Spotify and playlisting and stuff like that. It's just hard, and that's kind of like what you have to subscribe to, because that's what is the most successful. So it's definitely shifted my focus off of SoundCloud for sure. I find I haven't used it much either. I loved like digging to find new music. It was so like easy to like, you know, get lost in the SoundCloud kind of like sphere, but it's harder for me to do that on Spotify.
Totally. Thanks for answering. And then my second question, which is a little bit more fun. So since we've been pushed to like more online through the pandemic, I know Fortnite and a lot of other games are launching like online concert series, and what was it? Porter Robinson had done a virtual concert online too. So are any of the artists here? I know all of you try to like push the boundaries of music. Are you planning on doing more virtual reality shows in the future?
I think my team is thinking about. We're kind of in this weird position where it's like I had this entire tour planned out, but by the time shows come back, I might have a new album out. So it's like, what do we tour? So one option was kind of like, oh, it could be cool to do like a virtual like live stream of the tour that was originally planned. So that's kind of something we're like looking maybe into. But yeah.
I'd be super down. I finally tried VR like a couple weeks ago, and I was so blown away. I feel like it's gonna get like virtual reality in like 10 years. I don't even know how it's gonna feel so realistic. It's so cool that like we're living in a time where like VR is becoming so popular, and people are quickly finding ways to like do virtual concerts or whatever. I think it's really cool.
I feel like I haven't really like nerded out in the whole VR space quite yet. I don't really know why. I think it's because I'm addicted to other video games. But yeah, I feel like it'd be really cool, especially with something that wasn't really able to be done this year. I was just like so kind of like needed a little bit of a break and needed to just focus on making music and spend time not doing show related things. I just needed like some downtime. So I didn't really like put a ton of effort into it. But I do think the space is really, really cool and unique. And I feel like I kind of want to nerd out before I dive into it for like an ILLENIUM show or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty much the same. I haven't really explored it all that much, but it's definitely an intriguing idea and would be very fun to do.
Said the Sky Valheim show.
Let's go.
Let's go. The most beautiful buildings on earth.
No doubt.
Trevor's an amazing builder in Valheim. You guys should see his work. It's beautiful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing all of you back on the road. And thanks for your time. And thanks, Steph, for bringing me up here today.
Thanks so much, Irene. Some really great questions. Thanks for stopping by. Louis, what's your question?
Hi. Wow. Sorry. I just didn't wake up today expecting to be talking with so many people who inspired me so much. Trevor, I actually met you at the dog park meet and greet in LA. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Oh my God. Yeah. Holy cow.
Me and my friend were like the only other people that brought dogs in.
Yeah, there weren't as many dogs as I was expecting. But
yeah, I was totally expecting a lot more. Well,
that's great.
Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah,
anyway, you guys have inspired me and so many other people. And I've recently gotten into production, but I've been having a lot of trouble expressing myself creatively because I don't know what everything does. So I just want to ask, are there any tips that you guys can give me and like other producers into better expressing ourselves with like Ableton and FL Studio and stuff like that?
YouTube tutorials honestly are like huge. Like when I was first learning how to do all this stuff, half of my time would be like, oh, this Skrillex song is sweet. Let's go on YouTube and type in Skrillex bass sound. You just try and find and see if somebody's already done what you're trying to do. And you can apply that to literally anything. If you're trying to learn Ableton, go look up how-to Ableton videos, go look up FL Studio videos. You can find, there's so much information online in it. It takes some time to learn all of it, but it's all there, very accessible.
Yeah, I think like learning, starting from like like just try to make something that you really love, try to make something close to that or like heavily inspired by it, just so that you kind of learn, and just so you learn like more about the cue, like the shortcuts, and like just getting really comfortable with the program itself. And then when like you're actually really comfortable with it, it kind of comes second nature just to do you and just to do what you like,
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your guys' input, and this will definitely keep me motivated and inspired to keep trying to express myself creatively.
Heck yeah.
Oh, also, Trevor, I was the guy who made that Reddit post that you put up on Twitter, and I just want to say it meant the world to me.
Hey, nice.
That day was just
that's sick.
Like a turning point in my life, and I remember it so often. Anyway,
That's
yeah,
so
I just want
awesome.
to say thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks,
Thank
dude.
you.
Nice to chat with you again.
Yeah, I hope to see you guys soon.
That's sick. Thanks so much, Louis, and good luck. I think we ran a little over time. We got carried away. So Madison, I think you're going to be our last question for the day.
Sounds good. Thanks for bringing me up, Steph. And I'm such a big fan of all you guys. I think the Ascend Tour, that was the last show I went to before COVID and everything. So I'm super nostalgic. Just wondering, like, have you guys ever drawn any inspiration from, like, your travels or places you've been to?
Yeah, absolutely. I find traveling is a really good source of inspiration for me. A lot of the new songs that I've been working on have been inspired by some of the trips that I've been on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of miss, like, having to work on songs in, like, a hotel in a city I'm playing, because it's just, like, a different, like, any excuse to get out and, like, experience something different, I feel like will definitely inspire me to, I don't know, just, like, have a different thought process, or just changing your surroundings definitely just changes how you produce or write a song, at least in my experience.
For sure. Any standout places for anyone? Cities?
Hawaii, definitely. Like, when I was in Hawaii last, or it was a while ago, sorry. I was it my first? It might have been my first time in Hawaii. We were just driving around. We were on Oahu, and we drove to the North Shore, and I was in the back seat, and I was, like, randomly just, like, making this random beat that turned into the super chill track on Awake No Time Like Now. And that was, like, super fun. And that's, like, the great version of travel making music, where it's, like, really pretty and, like, feels good. And then there's also been, like, times where I've been, like, really drained on tour and, like a little bit ready to get home and, like, just a little tired, and I'll just get home after a show. And for me, what helps me, like, get through that is just making a ton of music, or, like, making a random drop in the hotel room or something like that. It's kind of a nice little escape too, which is kind of it's the opposite. It's like getting drained by touring and traveling, even though it's beautiful and, like, you can get a ton of inspiration from it. Sometimes it can be overdone a little.
Yeah, there's definitely an aspect of traveling that I think, traveling as a musician that a lot of people don't necessarily think about, is how much time you're actually able to, like, explore, the city or that you're in. It's, like, not near as much as you might think. Most of the time we fly out, we land, we go and sound check, and then we play the show, and then we go to sleep, and then fly out the next morning and go play the next one. So it's not, most of the time I don't feel like I get as much time to just, hang and check out the area and, get that inspiration as I would like. But
yeah, I'm trying to make a change with that, honestly. When shows come back, I'm going to, like, schedule a day before and after where I can actually, like, really enjoy the moment more. Just because
that's awesome.
I just don't want to, like, take it for granted.
Yeah, that sounds really dope. I love that you mentioned Hawaii, because I actually love Hawaii. I'm a Pacific Islander, so I think it would be so cool if any of you collaborated with, like, any, like, reggae or, like, island artists. And yeah, I love Oahu, love the North Shore and everything.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Very
so
inspiring.
dope. Yeah, I totally see you collabing with some cool islander artists. But thank you, everyone, so much for answering my question. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Madison.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. I think that's all we have time for, but thanks everyone for stopping by. And if we didn't get to your question this time, sorry. William, Trevor, Nick, Dabin, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for
This was
hanging
awesome.
with us.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Hey, guys.
guys.
Peace.